Damn, guys, 500 Fan Fridays. We are halfway to 1,000 videos of just fan-submitted battles. Now, a montage is coming. The 500th Fan Friday came upon me too fast to be able to make a montage, so I'm giving the honor of the 500th Fan Fridays to Advantage Joyce for representing on that Castform. Let's get into this battle. Now, Castform is crazy. That all it needs is just some kind of buff. It just needs a little bit of a boost, and it can become one of the strongest Pokemon in the game. An evolution, an ability tweak, something like that. I talk about this in my top 10 Pokemon that need buffs and nerfs. Castform is number 1. In my eyes, it is the most potentially overpowered Pokemon in the entirety of Pokemon. It has absurd amounts of coverage, and on this team, I'm seeing crazy dynamic. We have Charizard Y for Drought, and then we also have Politoed for Drizzle, which means we have Fire Weather Ball, Water, Grass, Electric from the Thunder. Like, we have Grass from a Solar Beam. We have Electric on that Thunder, and then we also have Flying on that Hurricane. All of them getting very high amounts of base power and crazy damage and crazy coverage, and the overall potential is absolutely insane. Let's see how this plays out. So Charizard Ys are going to protect against each other, and that's going to lead for an absolutely safe turn of pure scouting. Oh, and that is going to work against us right now. Ooh, the free Tailwind for the opponent. And the withdrawal for the Charizard Y just does not want to deal with it, as we see that the Metagross is going to... That's not how that works. You're bringing in the Okay, and the Charizard switches out because he doesn't want the Aerodactyl Rock Slide, and now we go into the Politoed. That's actually going to mix things up pretty crazily because now it's Drizzle. So Weather Ball becomes Water. We don't have our Fire to super effective against the Metagross anymore, but we get to see what the Castform has planned. Like, if you make that switch, then you just throw the Thunder onto the Aerodactyl, and that's going to be GG. So Castform actually tanks that off. Oh, he flinches though, and there's a Wide Guard from the Aerodactyl to just protect things right there, and Metagross goes for the Stealth Rock. Interesting setup right there, as we see that the Castform, there's the Thunder, that's the damage, and we're going to see just Aerodactyl actually survive it on that Focus Sash. So Aerodactyl, he's got the support, Wide Guard, Rock Slide, good, and the Tailwind with that Focus Sash, pretty nice, as we get the Scald to finish off the Aerodactyl, predicting, just in case it was a Focus Sash, it's going to be handled. Now Metagross, the Steel Stab is not going to do too much right here, as we get Charizard Y back on the field to make it Drought. But that's the thing, if the opponent tries to remove your Weather, Castform is just going to adapt to it. And now Metagross has to risk from the Weather Ball being a Fire type, just absolute dunk. And there we go, Politoed with a helping hand. That Politoed's hit points look really high, so like full tank, ultimate, just support Politoed right here. Oh, okay, that's a lot different than what I expected. I'm like, oh, Charizard Y is just protecting because he doesn't want you to Scald. No, Charizard Y is protecting because there's an explosion out, and that is going to be everything getting cleaned. Oh, we didn't get to see the Castform doing too much else. Critical hit on Politoed. Castform is going down. That was unexpected for sure. And now Charizard Y is coming into that Stealth Rocks and taking huge amounts of damage. But the Tailwind has petered out. So we're balancing it out right there, and then we're going into the Gardevoir with the Excadrill. Excadrill is going to match up good against Gardevoir. Charizard is going to, like, cancel itself out. Whoever's faster, it could get some... Actually, well, this is where things get interesting, because Excadrill throws out the Rock Slide, knocks out the Charizard as well. Gardevoir's got the helping hand, so we have to hope that, you know, if it's Scarf Excadrill, yeah, he's just going to outspeed on that Rock Slide. There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. And then the rest of the damage can be focused onto the Gardevoir from the Charizard Y to knock it out. Alright, so the Excadrill actually coming in big right there. The Air Slash in the Sun. I actually feel like a Heat Wave would have been enough to KO right there. Not Mega Gardevoir either, just regular on that Citrus Berry. And then it used up its turn on that Helping Hand, so the Rock Slide is committed on that Scarf. Good damage, and then Charizard's going to go for that Solar Beam. Where's the Fire? Like, it's stab, it does so much more, but the Solar Beam onto Gardevoir will be an unorthodox finish, but it works out in the end, and that will be the defeat right there. I want to see more from the Castform. Fortunately, we have another battle submitted, and maybe we'll see some amazing Castform shenanigans. Alright, so it's going to be the same team. The opponent leading a Gastrodon Arcanine and Charizard Y. Now, this is where things get interesting. If Gastrodon doesn't expect the Solar Beam, he's going to have a pretty bad time right there. And then Castform doesn't get to do too much to the Arcanine. So we're going to see where this damage trade comes off. I mean, do you just Air Slash the Arcanine and then try to use Castform to Solar Beam the Gastrodon? Or what happens? So Charizard's actually going to protect. Once you just kind of see what the opponent's up to, maybe Arcanine's going to be going for the Charizard. And that is going to be a protect on the Gastrodon, anticipating the Solar Beam. So then Castform, there's a Solar Beam, Castform absorbing light. I mean, the coverage is still there and still pretty crazy. So the protect works out right there. The Wild Charge is going to be stopped. And the protect plays really just kind of go off right there. But now we're switching into the Excadrill. We know the Excadrill is Scarf. It wants to do some crazy things right here. Breaks the mold as well. And that is going to be a withdraw of that Gastrodon into a Salamence. Okay. So of all the coverage that Castform can potentially have, we know that this one not going to have the Ice Beam, but that Excadrill is not going to be hit by the Wild Charge right there and the Light Absorption. So we're not going to see too much damage onto the Salamence. Like, yeah, that's very resisted. Castform almost losing more hit points than the Life Orb. And that's what I mean. If Castform had more damage, it would be so much better. So now we're going into the Politoed. Politoed probably has the Ice Beam to deal with that Salamence. And the Drizzle is going to mix things up because you have so many opportunities on these plays right here. Castform, you know it's going to be becoming a Water type, so you suddenly throw out the Drizzle Pokemon and you Weather Ball the Arcanine. That's gotta be huge damage. I'm hoping for a one-hit KO from the Castform, but we see the Mega Salamence, always a very threatening Pokemon right there. Alright, so actually Salamence went for the Protect. Did not know what to expect right there, and then the Arcanine hits the close combat onto the Politoed, but this is a very tanky support Politoed. Oh no, after those defense drops, Castform, you gotta Weather Ball. You can make that prediction. Actually, I've never seen the animation of Weather Ball. Oh, cool, it like orbits all the colors and then selects one and hits Arcanine. And that is going to be the KO there, of course, after the close combat. But yeah, Castform, Life Orb, getting that damage in there where it needs to. And now we're going into the Gastrodon, and here's where the plays could get interesting. So Castform going to protect. We know the Politoed's super duper tanky. There's a Dragon Claw. So actually Dragon Claw's onto the Politoed, and Politoed is going to tank it up right there. There's a Citrus Berry, and then that's just going to be Ice Beam and then gone. Interesting why the opponent went for Dragon Claw, since he has the Aerolate. Could have gone for like a Double Edge or something. That would have knocked out the Politoed, and there wouldn't be too many other problems there. So that's a weird decision, but the Castform going to protect itself, and now we're going to go into the Gengar. We don't really have too much else against Gengar. I mean, Hurricane could confuse it, just solid damage right there. The Weather Ball, really strong neutral hit. Charizard also going for that mix-up right there. Is Gastrodon going to go for a Protect, or is that Solar Beam just going to be a thing? So Castform, there's the forecast. Now it's sunny out again, and actually no Protect, so there's a Sludge Bomb that's going to hit Castform. Castform survives it and gets that Solar Beam out, and that is going to be enough right there to just absolutely destroy this Gastrodon. 4 times super effective hit. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so now pretty lined up right now with the Gengar. It's going to be able to get some damage off. It's going to be able to finish off the Castform, but Charizard has huge hits right there. Castform does get that Protect in, going to make Gengar's turn not really matter, and then Charizard actually has the Air Slash right there. And that is going to be huge, but not enough because that Focus Sash to go for that dunk. There's a flinch anyways, and the opponent goes for a forfeit. So yeah, I like the team composition. That's what I mean, Castform needs a little more. You know, if it was faster, it'd be more reliable. If it had more damage options, you just have to really mind game the opponent super hard. Excadrill, I really like the idea the team comes together, and that's what we got. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys enjoyed Fan Fridays, because the last Fan Fridays gets more views, so I'm doing this one instead for the last one. Hope you guys enjoyed your week, enjoy your weekend, have a nice day. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking around for 500 Fan Fridays.